So what's going on, everybody? It's been exactly 6 weeks to the day since I had screws get put into my back, L5 and S1. There's the side view and there's the view from the front. Since my surgery, 8 days out, I started walking without a cane, without a walker, and I just decided to grind it. So there's my very first walk, guys. That's 3/4 of a mile in an hour. That is a long, slow walk right there. So I just decided to just push myself a little bit more each day and try to improve it. And that's what I did, because I mean, I'm off. I had nothing else to do other than walk and try to rehab and get better. So as you can see, the distances, they slowly start to go up while the pace actually starts to go down. And I pushed myself further and further each day, and then all of a sudden I got to 10 miles at 19 minutes per mile. And I was really proud of that. And I think doing that walking and pushing myself each day kind of helped me get to where I am right now, where 6 weeks out I have 0 restrictions after seeing my doctor. So go back to lifting weights. And I will say that I'm not a professional weightlifter or bodybuilder, so don't be too harsh here. And I will say that don't judge the numbers either, because they're all pretty terrible. But I'm just happy to be back lifting weights 6 weeks post Spinal Fusion. Hope you guys like the video. There's a lot of negative videos about Spinal Fusion out there, and I want to say that is a last option. I put mine off for 4 years trying to avoid it, and then I eventually had it. And I think now, 6 weeks out, I've reached the point where I'm kind of glad that I did it, because I've started noticing, like, in little daily activities I have less pain. But like, as you can see right there, you know, getting up from a bench is like really hard for me right now. But there's other things where I can definitely tell that I'm better, you know, just putting shoes and socks on. So right now, I cannot bend over and then stand back up on my own because my low back muscles are so weak. That's part of the reason I have trouble getting up from the bench. So my wife, who's a physical therapist, helped me come up with this version of a deadlift, which is kind of weird to think about. It's actually a negative deadlift. Like, the number of the amount of weight I'm lifting is technically negative. The bands are actually helping me stand back up because my low back muscles are so weak. But it is a good way to practice range of motion, flexibility, and even though the bands are helping you back up, you are actually using a little bit of your back muscles to stand up. So now my goal is to get to 0 deadlift, and then hopefully we'll start putting on some positive weight. I just thought that was funny, a negative deadlift. From there, I go on to some body weight dips, and this is when I really kind of had to humble myself. Before surgery, I did a lot of dips because it put no pressure on my spine, but I could do 15 to 20 in a row. Here I get to 5 and I just quit. I lost. You just pretty much forget the kind of weight and reps you did before surgery if you're gonna have it, and just start over and no worries. You lose a lot of strength from not lifting more than 5 pounds for 6 weeks. I'm sorry, combined with you know, having your back cut open and not feeling like doing anything. And then here I went with front squats. Again, not a lot of weight, but with front squats you stay more upright than you do if you put the bar on your back. So it kind of takes the low back out of it a little bit. But I do want to say here that I did start doing front squats with a little bit more weight, and I kept taking plates off because, you know, you're still not 100%. You kind of have to have a feel for, you know, good pain versus bad pain. So good pain being, you know, muscle pain, you're working out the muscle, you're feeling the burn. Bad pain being, you know, something starts to tingle or pinch, you can just tell it doesn't feel right. If that happens with a certain lift or exercise, I would recommend you leave it alone for a few weeks and come back to it. And if you still have problems, you know, talk to your doctor about it. After that, I do some bent over rows with my arm kind of bracing myself against the bench. And these are good because you keep your low back, you know, relatively still, and even though it's still, you're still kind of engaging those muscles a little bit. Because even though you want to try to work around your low back because it is compromised, you have to strengthen it, you know, in ways that you can. after that we switch over to some lying tricep extensions, some skull crushers. And as you can still see, like, getting down on the bench is just not fun for me at this point. It is getting easier, you know. Like 2 weeks ago, I guarantee you I would not have been able to do just like lay down on the bench. But I continue to get better, and starting physical therapy routine and starting weightlifting routine will probably help me get better tremendously. I might feel worse the first week I do both of those, but hopefully I'll feel better pretty soon. And I wasn't too upset with my weight on the tricep extensions. I thought 30 pounds was pretty good compared to the weight I was picking up on everything else. But that's probably because there's no low back involved in this movement. And once again, I have a lot of trouble getting up from the bench, so I just cheated this time and pulled myself up with the dip bars. And then one of my last exercises, I don't know why, I've always liked doing the barbell curls with the landmine. One of the reasons is that the landmine, the higher you lift the weight, the lighter it actually gets. So there at the top of the bicep curl, it's not a true 10 pounds. And I do want to keep my back engaged, which is why I'm kind of bending forward a little bit and bracing my weight on that foam roller. I could have done something like a seated curl. But like I said, you're trying to rehab your back. You got to think of ways you can strengthen it without, hitting it directly. And then the last thing I did was reverse flies with a band. Just really focus on pinching my shoulders together and try to strengthen my upper back, because I lost most of the muscle that I feel like I lost was in my back, the lower and the upper back, just from sitting around and not doing anything. There's a lot of muscle atrophy there. So that's pretty much it. 6 weeks post Spinal Fusion, and I'm lifting weights. And I just wanted to kind of put it out there that it's not the end of the world when you have to go and have Spinal Fusion. A lot of videos out there make it seem like it's pretty terrible, and I won't lie, the first week in the hospital was probably one of the worst weeks of my life. But at this point, I really am glad that I had the surgery, and I think in the next 6 weeks I'll probably feel better than I did a year ago. And just as far as my pain is concerned, 2 weeks after my original surgery, I was off all pain medication. So that includes narcotic and non-narcotic medicine. So no Advil, no Aleve. I haven't had anything since then. And my overall pain level is much less than it was before surgery. So like there might be certain times where I have more pain, like when I'm trying to sit up or doing something that I just don't have the strength to do right now. Or when I step in a pothole, I'm not expecting it. That still kind of hurts. But like overall in the day-to-day life, my pain level is considerably less. But anyways, I hope this video helps some of you guys out. If you even stuck through and watched this whole thing, I appreciate it. And feel free to leave a comment below and I'll answer it when I get time.